Welcome to the Darkly Courts, Utopians. This is my first attempt at doing a voiceover box review, so bear with me. That being said, also, my camera for the first two videos, out of the three that I have recorded, didn't like to focus. So there's going to be a little bit low quality for the first two videos, and it gets a little better on the third video, but I'm going to see if I can improve that anymore. But that being said, and out of the way, let's actually get into the review. We are talking about the Protectron Workers Fallout Wasteland Warfare kit. This was the first kit that I got for the game. I got it before I ever learned how to play the game. I just really wanted the models. And this is probably one of the kits that got me into the game. It wasn't super expensive, but like, I think it's well worth it. And we're actually going to look at the details here. So as you can see, the box is a pretty small box, and this actually surprised me. It came in my mailbox, like it actually fit in an apartment mailbox, which had me really happy. That helped with like storing until I could get it put together and stuff, which I put it together pretty quickly. As you can see, like they showed the real size models is 32 millimeter. But yeah, so the sprues come in the bag. They are resin. I'm not used to working with resin. I glued my fingers to the model way more than I want to admit with this. But the models were pretty good in what they came with, like has the bases. I wasn't happy with how the bases connected to the sprue because it was hard to get the actual like part off. But as you can tell, everything else came off really easily. It was pretty clean. The models are highly detailed. You can't see with my camera here, but the models are highly detailed. For the most part, also well put together. I was scared with resin because I'm a refugee from Games Workshop games, going to other games, so I'm used to Games Workshop resin, which is not great. Yeah, and there you can actually see my complaint about the base. And this is the piece I have another complaint on. When you have someone holding a gun or a gun wrist, or holding a gun in one hand, the wrist in the other, please have a notch. Like that was just a flat surface to surface, and it took a few times gluing to get it right. And resin isn't as forgiving as glue. Now you look at the models put together. They came together well. They actually stay on the base pretty well. That's the police. Like they came with the police, fire, and utility. We'll go over the card stats later. I think I'm going to do a separate video on that where I have my painted ones because I have one of the three painted, the other two primed right now. I have the fire painted because it's my favorite. But yeah, they actually came together really nice. As my only complaint was the utility Protectron was holding his wrist, so it's like a flat surface against a flat surface, and those don't dry nice once two arms, in my opinion. Like you can't see here, but they're actually not connected here. I actually point out. But yeah, I eventually had to glue it separately when I was sitting on my shelf because I noticed there was a gap. But yeah, no, I think the kit's great. I do think Modiphius does a wonderful job with their kits. There's some of the higher detail kits I've ever seen. The stats are about what I'm looking for as a new player. As I said, we're going to go into the stat cards later as a separate video when I get a little more comfortable with the rules. And we're also going to work on my camera work. I am sorry, guys. The details for like where the badges are not embossed. You have to freehand them. With the fire one, that wasn't too hard actually, because you just trace within the lines and add a little peak at the top. But for the police one, I know I'm going to mess up, but I'm going to try. They are a fun kit. They're not too challenging to put together. They're great details. They're actually not too challenging to paint even. They suggest Army Painter, which I'm not against Army Painter as a paint, but I do use GW Paint. That's why I own mostly, because I play like Warcry and Age of Sigma or 40K and stuff. But they took paint really well. I didn't feel like I had to actually use known oil. I didn't feel like I actually had to do much of the tricks to kind of bring details out because the details were pretty solid to begin with. As far as things go, I think I got this for like $30 off of Amazon. Maybe it was a little cheaper if I remember right. It's a great kit. I'd highly suggest it, especially if you like robots, especially if you like Fallout. I have a lot to say about the game, and we will get to that soon. And I am going to do a rules review for the game and the different units I purchased, or were purchased for me because a couple of them were gifts. But until then, I hope you had a good one. I hope you enjoyed everything. And I'll see you next time. Love you and bye. Help, help, I'm stuck between text box. No, I just feel like I had to say that. But for this week, I want to thank my patrons and gifters for this period. As far as patrons go, Some Random Geek, thank you so much, Geek, for being a patron for so long. I really appreciate it. Geek's an amazing person and a wonderful friend. Gifters, my editor and friend Silaxandra, and my friend Jade Serpent. If you're interested in becoming a patron, which has a few perks that we're still working through, patreon.com/NazandLQ. I share my Patreon with my wife, actually, and super happy to. Throne is throne.com/u/Erliniquin. Check me out on both places. I will name models after you for battle reports when I start doing those, as well as you get a robot in my Fallout Wasteland Warfare stream saves. I thank you all. And again, I love you all for coming in. I love you all for your support. I'll see you all later. Bye.